This is the third year of the Clagett Oakcliff Match Racing Clinic and Regatta. As good as fleet racing is, there are lots of other ways to sail competitively. And Oakcliff is known as one of the premier places to learn how to sail. The third year, we're sailing out of the Sagamore Yacht Club. And it's just been a wonderful time to see all these organizations get together to support adaptive sailing.
Well, I'm here because the Clagett events are really well organized. They incorporate a clinic learning aspect to a regatta.
It's a special group of people. A lot of people have different physical challenges, and many are Paralympians with medals, and many are sort of new to racing and have coming from backgrounds which aren't the same as ours growing up at yacht clubs and whatnot. So it's really fun for us to come and help people not only sail better, but really learn about racing and the sport of racing, the culture of racing, and match racing. Match racing makes you a better sailor because you either win or lose. Everything's heightened and intensified.
You're trying to get advantage over just the other boat, and it's a constant engagement. Whereas in fleet racing, you can do a start where you just kind of sail in a big loop away from other boats and not really engage anyone. Whereas here, you're constantly chasing or running from the other boat.
I can really see the improvement. We have a fellow, Dave Dellenbaugh, who has a sip and puff system. And a couple years ago, he was just trying to get around the track. And up in Newport, there was 4 or 5 sonars, and he was on the starting line, and you wouldn't know that he had this whole system. So I think his focus on match races really give him a chance to get better in sailing, and then applying that to fleet racing, I definitely see the improvement.
The first Oakcliff Clagett I did, I was last. I felt like I didn't know anything, but now I'm like in the mix. The more I know, the more I want to know, and the more I want to use out on the course.
There's no silver bullet. There's no one thing that'll win you the race. It's an accumulation of doing thousands of little things right at the right time.
Because you're thinking about what you're doing and what they're doing, where you are, what time it is. You're juggling so many things at once.
You're boat on boat, and you have to be paying attention all the time. But not just while you're racing, but in between racing, because you have to be paying attention to when your group is coming. So there's no downtime, game on, no matter what. In that aspect, it's really good at making you stay completely focused.
It's amazing. The sport of sailing is the most complicated sport. There are so many things that the athlete is asked to do in a medium that's very challenging. So having these match race clinics where you can really boil down and focus on the granular stuff, it's what makes you a better sailor.
Here, it's 3 people, boat handling, boat speed, tactical situation where you really have to work together.
It's a fun thinking game, and it doesn't matter what your abilities are or your disabilities. Communication is really key in this because you have to basically have your own language to get through some of these maneuvers. And thinking advanced moves, it's sort of like a very wet, watery chess game.
The powers that be at much higher levels have decided that Paralympic sailing will not be in the 2020 Games, and now we found out recently the 2024 Games. But in the meantime, the Clagett is committed to continuing to offer them competitive sailing, whether it be fleet racing in Newport, match racing here in Oyster Bay. There's lots of interesting things that we can be looking at going forward.
So here we are, we're back. We weren't able to attend last year, but we're back here for the 3rd annual. And this year, I get to sail with my husband, which is always fun. Regardless of our performance, doesn't matter. It's the fact that we're actually learning a lot, and we're able to get out racing and take all of this back with us to improve our sailing.
Jen's a great stick. She can really steer the boat really well. She is the smart one on the boat, and I'm just there to trim the sails and look for wind, and Jen takes us from there.
You get to engage in a sport together that you get to go and enjoy, and I think that's a big thing for us because we each have our own strengths, and we kind of know that as a couple. We're kind of going, okay, well, I'm good at this, you're good at that, and we'll make it happen. At the end of the day, we were a team.
Yeah, we always have been. Yeah,
we always have
been.
Will be. Yeah.
I'm sailing with my wife, Sarah. It's the first time I sailed with her in 2 years. Her hiatus was, it was a family hiatus from sailing, and to see her forget about having to miss sailing is amazing.
I don't care how I did. I don't, because I'm out there sailing, and do you know how lucky we all are to have this opportunity to come into this beautiful location? It's Friday afternoon at the end of September, and I'm sailing. And I haven't been able to sail, and it's that freedom again that I had no idea what day it was, what time it was, and that's what I like about sailing, is it really takes you out of your own head and puts you out into a space where you're only trying to make a boat go and beat another team.
We've been involved supporting the Clagett for a number of years now, and I have to say we get so much out of it, to see the look on the faces of the sailors as they're dealing with such incredible physical challenges on land, and the work that they have to do to be able to be successful in a very difficult land environment just seems to melt away when they step into the boats. And we're very proud and humbled to be able to support this.